What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dakar Desert Rally, and in this video I wanted to talk about a topic that I have been thinking about lately. Does Dakar Desert Rally have a depth problem with content and or like leveling and progression and all that? So I'm sure a lot of players are aware that you can pretty much buy any vehicle you would like to in Dakar pretty much starting off. Once you guys complete some of the stages and or the events, you normally can go buy one of the best cars in the game pretty fast, which is honestly pretty cool. I'm really glad they had that feature in there where you can actually get one of your favorite cars pretty early, but I also asked the question, is this going to mess up like the overall progression of the game, like trying to level up and or get higher leveled to grab different vehicles? Because let's be honest here, leveling up in Dakar really doesn't matter all that much. I was honestly wondering what you actually get from leveling, and from what I can see so far, I don't believe you actually get anything for leveling up at all. I don't even think you unlock other vehicles. I think all you will really need to do is to basically complete a few of the events and or the stages, and then you can go buy your favorite car in the game, which honestly is going to make the car a lot more fun because you don't really have to go insane with progression and all that to get those said vehicles unlocked. But to be honest, guys, I would say being able to progress like that is probably going to make the game a lot more fun, and as I did mention before, leveling up in the game really doesn't feel like it's even rewarding at all at the moment. At least that's what I have been noticing. I would say many players are probably trying to get to level 25 at least before to actually do the legit simulation mode on the game to really get that Dakar experience, but even then, after you guys actually hit 25 and you have all your favorite vehicles, what's honestly the point of actually moving on in the game and doing more of the events? Because there's really no point of collecting all the money unless you guys wanted to get as many cars as you can, or maybe you wanted to complete some of the trophies in the game as well. I have been noticing this, and I don't know if I'm the only one that's kind of wondering if like they're going to add a lot more stuff to the game to make the depth of the car a lot better. I would say a lot of games nowadays do suffer from like progression issues where there's just not enough to do, and or they basically release with like the lack of things to do and or really keep the player actually playing the game. And a lot of people also argue that some of the developers are probably doing a way of this to basically make the player retention more, to make the game more grindy, keeping them on there, even though they're really not working toward all that much stuff either. I would say Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is probably going to be in the category with not a lot of things to do either, to be honest. I mean, so far being on the game, all I could really see on there is basically just camos to go after, and after playing Dakar, I would say the biggest thing on here is probably going to be to get your money as high as you possibly can, then go buy some of the cool vehicles and all that, and then go do some races. But I'm finding that even after doing some of the races, you're finding yourself going, what should I actually do next? And should I really go grind money and or, levels for what reason? As I did mention before, I really do not see the point of leveling up. Originally, I thought you were going to get like different vehicles unlocked through progression, but it seems like you don't get actually anything for leveling up in the game, which I do think is kind of unfortunate. For example, playing something like the Crew 2, you always got like parts and stuff like that. You always got vehicles unlocked, getting higher levels. So it'd be cool if they did that with the game, where like once you hit level 30, you unlock like a special event or maybe like a special vehicle, something like that to really keep a player going, because I really don't see the point of actually progressing in the game. Now, once you actually do level up a little bit, you're going to probably end up having more money. For example, right now I have 40,000 like Dakar points or whatever it is, so I can basically buy like any vehicle in the game. And I'm not gonna lie though, I haven't been playing this game as hard recently because I have a lot of the events completed. I have many of the classic cars unlocked, and I'm obviously still waiting for that update in November that's supposed to add more events and or free mode. Hoping that's going to add more depth to the game as well to really keep people on it, including myself. But overall, guys, I would say Dakar is going to be a great game in the future, but I honestly think this game probably could have had some more time in development. I would say by now many players are aware of the issues that have been plaguing Dakar, like for example the saving problems. So hopefully with all this stuff situated, they can now move over to like the more important things, like adding more content to the game and really getting more things situated, like the handling of the vehicles as well. So for example, guys, when it comes to leveling on the game, I would say they could probably do some more stuff with that, and or they probably could have did a lot more with the depth of this. So for example, in many games, you obviously level up and unlock things similar to like how Call of Duty is, how you get like specific perks and or weapons unlocked over time. I think it would have been really cool to have some of the vehicles on Dakar unlocked through leveling, and or some of the better ones for that matter. If I had to guess, guys, many players are probably saving up their money on the game to get some of the better vehicles, which unfortunately, there is definitely going to be some better cars than others, and there's probably not even going to be a point of buying some of the worst vehicles in the game. So maybe making some of the better ones through leveling or something like that to really make a player and or someone work toward those one vehicles they might want. It'll also give them a reason to really play the game a lot longer, because after a while, I would say a lot of people, even including myself right now, are pretty much at a point of, why should I even bother leveling up on the game? Like, what do I actually get from it? I have plenty of money to buy any of the vehicles, and I can go buy one of those, then jump into one of the events. But I would say many players are probably wondering the exact same thing I am. What is actually the point of doing so? Now, I really don't want to think negative about this game again, guys, but I really do want the game to be good, and I feel like if we don't speak about the problems on games like this and/or games in general, I really don't think some of them are ever going to be fixed, because I do want the devs to know that we actually care as players and want these games to do good. I'm also one of those people, like, I'm not over here going, oh my gosh, I'm done with Dakar, like, I hate this game, it's terrible. No, I actually think the game has a good foundation. It just needs more updates and/or patches to really get it out there, and I feel like that could happen over time. I really hope the developers really do not abandon this game. That would be super unfortunate. Like, for example, the patches take months and or the updates come out way later on. I feel like there's going to be little to no players actually on the game still, so let's all hope that's not going to happen. But again, I really do feel like the leveling and overall progression in Dakar is almost non-existent to a certain extent. There really isn't many reasons to actually level up all that much in the game at the moment. You can also buy the vehicles very early on in the game, which, don't get me wrong, by the way, guys, I can definitely see how that is going to be a good thing, because players might not want to level up all crazy and like that and be on the game for hours and hours and hours on end, which I do understand that, so maybe being able to get the vehicles a little bit early on is going to be pretty cool. But also having them in like specific challenges and or special challenges, like maybe have them tied to one race in a specific car where you have to beat that within a time limit or something. Basically giving the replayability a whole reason to really be there and actually make a player want to go after those specific vehicles, and or if their favorite car is locked behind, like you have to complete like an event with a couple of cars, then you get that one unlocked, I think would be really cool. Kind of similar to what they did with the classics, but do that with other vehicles as well, but have different challenges tied behind them. I feel like that would be pretty awesome. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I've honestly really been thinking about Dakar a lot recently, because I really want this game to be good. And I also feel like it's really good to go over some of the issues and talk about them a lot more, because that will definitely get this stuff to be looked at a lot faster, because they can really see what's really affecting many of the players and or messing their experience up, which hopefully in return will actually make the game a lot better in the future by getting these issues fixed. But unfortunately, guys, all of this is going to have to be done in the future. But again, let me know what you guys think about the leveling and progression in Dakar Desert Rally. What are some things you think they could do to really make this more interesting and or really give a player a lot more stuff to do? I'm really hoping the update coming out later this month and or in December, whenever this update really comes, is going to add free roam, which obviously I'm hoping is going to be fun as well, but also give us a few more events to do and possibly some more vehicles to go after.